Hi and welcome to Teaching World Language with Technology. I'm Guy Trainin. I'm a professor in the Department of Teaching, Learning and Teacher Education at UNL.
I'm Crystal Liu. I'm the World Language Specialist at the Nebraska Department of Education.
And this is our final episode of this series. We're hoping that this will become so popular that we have to do a second season. We're not sure, so it's up to you. Click, like, and comment if you have a comment. Today, we're going to talk about what's the newest thing, and that is ChatGPT. It's rocking the world in general. It's definitely rocking the education world. So let's first talk about what are some opportunities for teachers to use ChatGPT in the world language classroom.
Actually, we can use ChatGPT for teaching, for searching for information, and also get ideas for teaching. So let's start with how we can use ChatGPT as world language teachers.
And I love that idea because you have to know what you're doing. And also you have to assume that if it's publicly available and it can do homework for kids, at least some of our students might want to use it. So knowing what it can and can't do is really helpful. And that's exactly what I did. I just said, write a short dialogue in French between Philippe and Jacques about going to a party. And you can see it generated a short dialogue very, very quickly. What else can we do as teachers? So the first thing you said, go and find out, play with it. It is free to use. You can use it in multiple languages, although the main language is the main language of the internet, which is English.
So I use ChatGPT to generate a piece of cultural reading about Chinese food for Chinese New Year celebration in 200 words. And for my next group, I asked ChatGPT to generate 200 words for Chinese decorations for Chinese New Year. And next, I want to ask ChatGPT to generate a 200-word piece for different ways of celebrating Chinese New Year.
So generate a 200-word passage about Chinese New Year decorations. And that's in English, right?
Yes.
And this is one of the things that I love about it is actually you can see it creating, and it's quite magical. So it talks about the red lantern, and so Chinese characters, door couplets, and so you can see how easy it is to create. So this is on the teacher side. The challenge that we have is this also happens on the student side. So students can be at home and they can use ChatGPT to create the same kind of text. So you have to think about what do you want them to do and where do you want them to do it. All right. What else can we do?
So I just go to ChatGPT asking for, provide opening activities that will help me engage students in learning about directions.
And here ChatGPT is suggesting to create a scavenger hunt in the classroom, hide a few items, and then use the directions. You talked about directions. Use right, left, up, and down to find those objects in a fun and engaging way. What else can we do?
We can also ask ChatGPT to create writing samples for students.
And so I took what you said and did it a little bit different. And that is, I asked for ideas for topics. So if you talk about students who are a little bit lost, what are my ideas? And again, this is not necessarily something we couldn't do on our own, but if we're in a jam, or if we're in a hurry, or if we're looking for some new, fresh ideas, getting that list would help, just because it might jog something new. All right, let's talk about the student level. At the student level, how can we think about our classroom and what can we do?
I would say, as teachers, I would bring students for an open discussion, what we can do. And then showing students, this way I'm showing students, I know ChatGPT as well, and I'm using it. If you are using it, I know.
A lot of teachers that we've talked to have said, we're a little bit worried. What's going to happen with homework? I think the solution for homework is to really start seriously thinking about your classroom being reversed. or what you usually call the flipped classroom, and that is the writing happens in class, the lecture or language sampling or watching, whatever it is, can happen at home. So at home you consume and the creation happens in class. So you can know when it is a ChatGPT creation because that's how you planned it, and when it is the students creating on their own with a pencil or paper and being able to generate their own ideas to battle spelling or character creation in Chinese and all of that, because these are important features of the language. We don't want to do away with them.
Yeah, I really like the in-class idea, because when students are actually creating writings or, conversations, that's the time actually they are struggling. They need help. If we have that time in class, and not only we can monitor whether they are using ChatGPT, at the same time we can, discover their, find out their problems or their challenges and reteach it or address that on the spot.
Yeah. And you can still use ChatGPT to help them create, especially in more advanced classes where they already have a significant vocabulary and significant grammar. They can use ChatGPT in the early creation phases and then go beyond ChatGPT. So we can use it that way. And the second thing that you can use ChatGPT, I think, is to create. And then when there's new vocabulary there, it's an opportunity for students to go and find out what the vocabulary means, how it's pronounced, and then participate. So those early passages that I created, for example, in French, those dialogues, there are some words there that were new to me. So I had to go look them up, and now I know what they mean, and now I can use them in a sentence. So in a way, ChatGPT is teaching me language by inserting new vocabulary. And that can be very exciting.
And also, we can do some activities with students. For example, I will ask my students to generate a piece about a girl going to a very exciting football game, describe the girl. And ChatGPT will describe the girl in the third person, but we can ask the students, okay, let's read the third person piece. Now, can we do it in first person?
So we do have to know it, and we have to understand it, and then we have to find productive ways to use it.
Yes.
All right, and thank you. We've had a lot of fun working together and producing this series. And if you do like it, please click like and leave a comment, and we'll consider making another series.
Thank you.